Well, joining me live is NDIS and Government Services Minister Bill Shorten. Thank you for your time this Sunday, Bill Shorten. Let me start with Fatima Payman. What do you think of what she's done to Labor here? Has she damaged the government? Would you have taken, as a former leader, would you have taken similar action of the Prime Minister here?
I think the Prime Minister's tried to handle this in the very best way possible. He didn't overreact. He hasn't underreacted. I thought the suspension was the right way to go. It was saying, you are welcome, Fatima, and let's give you a bit of time and space to work it through. Clearly, that's not where her head was at. She's walked. So I don't think there's anything else that the Prime Minister could have done, frankly.
What do you make of her meeting Muslim leaders who are thinking of backing candidates to run against Labor and also taking advice from Glenn Drury?
Well, the Senate's littered with people who've taken advice from Glenn Drury. Sometimes they get up, ultimately they flame out. I'm not going to give Fatima Payman advice. I hope that she wouldn't leave. I'm disappointed, but that's her call. I did, in preparation for this interview, though, check out how many politicians in Australia have changed parties. The number actually is about 348 over the history of the parliament, and 26 have done it in the last 20 years. I mean, remember the big bopper, Clive Palmer? He seemed to lose everyone within 5 minutes of signing them up. Oh, no, he's still got Ralph Babet, sorry, but he's lost most of them. The Jackie Lambie Network. Peter Dutton's got 3 on his Foreign Legion who he's managed to recruit to the crossbench. So, you know, it's disappointing, but in social media world, it's as if everything's new every day with 140 characters on Twitter. But people do get elected under one flag and they see for whatever personal or whatever reason they give that they want to change their team whilst they're in the parliament. It's not the first time. I don't think it'll be the last.
That's all true, but should she resign from the Senate altogether, given she won with Labor?
Well, the problem for me is how do we, if I say she should, then I'm standing over her. If I say she shouldn't, then we're rewarding her. All I can do is, that's up to her. I know that for me and most of my colleagues, we understand we're elected under the Labor flag. As charming and as charismatic as individual candidates are, people vote for parties quite often. And if I decided I'd leave the Labor Party, which I never will, I would resign my seat. Because I got there under Labor votes, not under, Bill Charm. You wouldn't underestimate Bill Charm, but I'm a realist.
There's been speculation in recent days of Miss Payman being subject of a High Court challenge, re her citizenship and whether she's renounced the Afghan citizenship. And you're very familiar with Section 44 from your time as opposition leader. What do you make of that speculation?
Oh, I can't add to it. I know that in 2017 and 2018, I think all the political parties thought their candidates were vetted and ticked off. Turns out some didn't pass the High Court test. But I'm not going to sort of put my oar in that water. I'm still getting expensive therapy dealing with the last constitutional advice I got back then. I'm joking about the therapy, if you know what I mean.
What do you think of the way the government has handled the Israel-Palestine conflict, though? And what's your view of Benjamin Netanyahu's handling of it?
Ever since October the 7th, Palestine-Israel has been so vexed for generations. The atrocious, horrific acts of October 7th ignited the latest really upswing in terrible violence. It's exactly what, in my opinion, the Iranians and Hamas wanted. But it's terrible for Palestinian civilians. I really want the tanks out of Gaza. I want the hostages back. Israel is a functioning democracy. Clearly, this world is not homogenous, and sometimes our protests in Australia dumb it down to a simple slogan. Not everyone in the Middle East supports Hamas. Not everyone in Israel supports the current government. The sooner that the guns can fall silent and we can get back to talking about a two-state solution, the better.